The foods we never suspected, a story about blood pressure. As we age past 60, life slows down in beautiful ways. Mornings become quieter, memories deeper, and the little joys, like a warm cup of tea or a walk in the garden, start to mean more than ever before. But there's also a quieter threat that creeps in unnoticed: high blood pressure. It doesn't always scream for attention. Sometimes, it whispers in the form of headaches. Other times, it's that strange, flushed feeling in your face after a meal, or a sudden tightness in the chest while climbing stairs. It's easy to brush these off. After all, who wants to think something so common could become dangerous? But today, I want to take you on a gentle walk, not through panic or fear, but through awareness. Because sometimes, what we choose not to eat matters just as much as what we do. Let me tell you a story. A story not about one person, but about many mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, people like you and me, who one day realized that 5 types of food were quietly working against their health. Chapter 1. The meat on our plates. For years, red meat was a symbol of strength. Steaks on Sundays, bacon at breakfast, pork on the holidays. It brought people together. It felt hearty. But we now know that these rich meats, especially the processed ones, sausages, ham, cold cuts, carry a heavy cost. They are full of saturated fats and salt. And over time, they harden the walls of our blood vessels. The arteries, once flexible and flowing, begin to narrow, and our heart, once strong and steady, must work harder to push blood through. Some people began to notice something. After a meat-heavy dinner, they'd feel a bit lightheaded or heavy in the chest. Their fingers might swell, their feet puff up slightly, and their blood pressure monitor started showing numbers that looked just a little too high. So they made small shifts. They didn't give up meat completely, but they chose leaner cuts, cooked them differently, baked instead of fried, and started enjoying fish and beans more often. With time, their numbers improved, and so did how they felt. Chapter 2. The salt we don't see. Salt is sneaky. It's not just in the shaker on the table, it's in bread, soups, sauces, even cereals. One older gentleman said he hadn't touched the salt shaker in years but was still getting 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day. His ankles would swell by evening. His mouth stayed dry. He'd wake up dizzy. Why? Because hidden salt is everywhere. And for those over 60, too much salt means too much pressure, literally. It makes the body hold onto water. That extra fluid raises your blood volume, which forces your heart to pump harder. People started learning. They read food labels. They discovered that reduced fat didn't mean reduced salt. They began flavoring meals with lemon, garlic, and fresh herbs instead. And most importantly, they started tasting the natural flavor of their food again. Chapter 3. The foods fried in memory. Fried food was once a joy of youth. Crispy, golden, comforting, like mom's chicken on a weekend. But the older we get, the harder it is to digest not just the food, but the consequences. Fried foods, often cooked in reused oil, are full of trans fats. They inflame the body, add weight around the belly, and raise cholesterol. One woman shared how after eating fried chicken, she'd feel bloated, tired, and her blood pressure would shoot up. She didn't give up joy. She bought an air fryer, roasted vegetables with olive oil, and made chicken in the oven. The crunch was still there, but so was her peace of mind. Chapter 4. The sweetness that turns sour. Sugar is comfort. It's celebration. A birthday cake, a holiday pie, a cookie with tea. But sugar doesn't just stay sweet. Inside the body, it turns into fat, leads to inflammation, and triggers insulin resistance, all silent partners in raising blood pressure. A retired teacher noticed she was craving sweets constantly. She felt jittery in the afternoon. She couldn't sleep through the night. Her doctor told her it might be time to look at her sugar. So she began slowly. She replaced her soda with fruit-infused water. She used cinnamon instead of sugar. She ate more apples and fewer cupcakes. It wasn't a punishment, it was a trade. Long-term health for short-term sugar. Chapter 5. The quiet pull of the glass. A glass of wine at dinner. A small whiskey after a long day. Alcohol feels like a friend in old age. It softens grief, fills silence, warms the chest. But what many don't realize is that alcohol causes a dangerous cycle. It temporarily opens blood vessels, making you feel relaxed, but shortly after, it tightens them again, raises pressure, and disrupts sleep. People started noticing red cheeks after a drink, trouble falling asleep, morning headaches. They didn't stop socializing. Instead, they started new rituals: warm herbal tea in the evenings, gentle stretches, music instead of nightcaps. They still celebrated, but in a way that respected their bodies. The closing chapter: a new way of living. High blood pressure isn't always dramatic. It often arrives in silence. But it doesn't have to stay. These 5 foods: rich meats, hidden salt, fried indulgences, sugary comforts, and alcohol, they're not evil. They're just misunderstood. And when we understand them, we can choose differently. Not perfectly, just mindfully. And over time, those mindful choices: one less sausage, a little more lemon, one skipped drink, a bowl of berries instead of cake, they add up. They lower pressure. They lift the spirit. They extend life, not just in years, but in the quality of those years. So today, take one step. Choose one food to look at differently. Your heart will thank you, not with words, but with rhythm, strength, and peace. A calm heart is a strong heart, and a strong heart carries you far.